Hello, this is Decoherent, and welcome back to some more Torment, Tides of Numenera. Folks, this is going to go so poorly. I'm going to get rolled. I'm going to go in here, and there's going to be something bad, and it's going to get mean. And I already blew half my consumables just trying to get back up to half health. I don't know. This is not going to go well. But, well, here we are. So, Anifre, great. Oh, Kiyatawa. We can go have a frank discussion with her. You have something going on with your head. Did you... Okay. On the surface, Kiyatawa looks exactly the same as when you first saw her in the Denderahor Chapel while you were investigating the murder of Folsom's protege in the underbelly. But some things have definitely changed. A feverish, blotchy glow colors her skin, and her grin is entirely at your expense. Ah, it's the investigator, she says. Good to see you again. You know, I feel like you don't mean that. I thought I had you fooled, she said. The little lost girl surrounded by inhuman cannibals. She shakes her head. We managed to underestimate each other, didn't we? Let's see here. So this is the truth. This is bravado. And this is kind of like, I'm going to go with the truth. You were spotted in the marketplace. That's what gave you away. Huh, she says, shaking her head in wonder. Someone saw me in the seconds after I ate the corpse that changed me, and you managed to find them. You deserve to catch me. She grins again. But you didn't. I beg to differ you. Kiyatawa stares past you for a moment, the smile slipping from her face. I've been wondering, she says at last, what would have happened if I'd told you the truth? If I'd confessed the moment we met? Her eyes return to yours. What would you have done? Okay, would I have turned her in? Maybe. Would have found a way to help you? No. I'd have killed you on the spot? Maybe. Honestly, I'm not totally sure what I would have done if I'd walked up to someone and said, hey, did you do this? And they went, oh yeah, it was me. I guess we'll never know. An odd expression crosses her narrow face. Desperation, maybe, or fear. I suppose not, she says, smiling again. All that is behind us now. I should have known that I'd find you here. What? She says, barking a laugh, glancing at the man beside her. You think I've found a place of honor here? They don't trust me. None of them do. She snorts again, but she isn't smiling. Why don't they trust you? Her face tightens as though in pain. Because I'm one of them, the flesh-eaters. They wanted to release me when I arrived, but Anifre stopped them somehow. Gods know why, but I'm not leaving his side. Huh. So, do you feel guilty for what you've done? Why should I? She snaps. Was life in the underbelly so wonderful? What did I steal from them that was worth keeping? Well, I feel like those people enjoyed being alive. She's nearly shouting now. My whole life, I've had a voice in my head, whispering, shouting that I was someone else. Making sacrifices to the endless gate shut her up. Why should I suffer? Why should my life be a misery so that other people can live? Uh-huh. And so, you bought peace with Crooked Keek's life. And she's the one that I'm here to avenge, by the way. That, she says, faltering, that was an accident. She saw me talking with Weedle, and I thought... She sighs, tangling her fingers in her hair. Who cares what I thought? Dad is dead, and she's wrong, and she's gone now. You do feel guilty. Her only response is a short, wheezing laugh. So are you happy here? She looks away, her mouth set in an iron line. Alright, talk to you in a bit. Great. I don't like the whole glow thing they've got going on around their heads.
You bet.
Can I walk around and look at anything? No, not so much. There's a pathway there that I can't go onto. Wish I could, like, arrange everyone so they're already flanking for the inevitable fight. Actually, that's not too bad. Let's see if I can just drag everyone. Hey, there we go. Alright. This man is long-limbed and bony, unmuscled, with a sunken chest. Sparse hair on a scarred scalp. Rags hang from his slumping body. He wears the cast-off tattoo, but he's like no cast-off you've seen. He regards you with bloodshot eyes, fever-mad, but just as the pupils remain black and pure among the veins, you sense something hard and sane within the madness. His voice are hoarse and dangerous. You've come too far. Too far by far. There is no escape. None leave the gate. Such a pretty brother, father's living touch on every inch of you, born to rung among the sunlit lilac, Sulla, singing Halai, Halai to the guster's strum. Okay, that was hard to say. Such splendid dreams. He scrapes at a lesion on his arm and cocks his head, listening. Ah, but you're the one who fell, aren't you? We smelled you cooking in the sky. Always a black omen, a falling star. Our Father in heaven never showers gifts. No, sows trouble, and the reaper comes to harvest. Crops we all are, till we become a cropper. Okay. Now you've wandered far away to where woe holds sway, poorly choosing when you chose. Choose woes, here beyond the gate. Hate, hate, hate. He smirks, but you cannot tell if it's part of his madness or a hint of a method to it. The children love playmates, your nieces, nephews, and they have learned wild lessons as if from father's lips. Pain, taught with teeth, father did, and gobbled up every scrap. Now he sneers. But he kissed you, didn't he? Perhaps that's the sharper bite. I'm not totally sure if he's talking about whatever the scary thing was in the darkness, or the changing God, and I'm not totally sure that he knows the difference either. So I wanted to speak to you first, to ask you some questions. Inifre's smile widens, revealing teeth that are chipped and stained. There is so much I could teach you, little brother. What is this place? Here is where the snake sinks its teeth in its own tail and tastes this black truth. Worse than its venom's burn is the foul flavor, the sweet savor of his tainted flesh. Inifre runs his hands over his emaciated body. This is where pain flays vein. Lies with hide? Wow, okay. Good lord, dude. This is where pain flays vein lies that hide from our despising eyes the flaws inside our sorry selves. I cannot parse that sentence. Truth hurts, brother, bright and scalding as starfire, and here it's howled with tongues of flame. Inifre's eyes grow distant, and he seems seized by some vision. Our father made me cry out, "Hear, I hear," but fled in fear when they hailed him, ill-met, in a voice that he could not bear. Born in blood and pain, as flesh decrees man should be. His eyes return to the moment, licks his lips, and gestures at the hellscape around you. This is the womb that wounds, but welcomes home an alien brood, shelter from the sorrow that shadows our blood. Right. Okay, so, to be clear, where are we? Inifre shrugs his bony shoulders. Beyond the gate, brother, that is all. Okay, thank you. A straight answer. So is this the ninth world, or are we somewhere else? He just shrugs. This is going to give me more sentences I can't understand. So who are they that you say live here? Yes, he answers, pondering. Who? And are they, or one, or none, but a shadow cast upon the plains, a mirror to our fears smirking back at us? They writhe, they rise, they reach across the void with whispering grips, groping blindly till a fool lights their way. Inifre leans in and whispers conspiratorially, Did father know their name? Did he dream who'd answer his call? Or did he, too, blindly blunder through the dark? He shrugs. No matter, it's done. They are who they are. Alright, so we have nameless horrors. Did he know who'd answer his call? So, did original me do something that got the attention of things beyond the veil? If so, that was a very poor decision on his part. So what do you mean, shelter from the sorrow? I have a feeling it's going to be something even worse. Surely, brother, you know what our father fled, why he fed, why he shucks off husks and hides like the shin beneath a huckster's shifting shells. Inifre studies your face. I know you know. I see the sorrow's horror behind your eyes. It will not cross the threshold of the gate or face the fiends that lurk in this place. Is that why you came? To trade the terror's harrowing for a measured measure of woe? You are welcome. You need only open your mind and they will open your arms to you. Uh-huh, and would I be allowed to leave? They will do with you what they want, little brother. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I did not come here so I could stay. Nifre gives a hollow laugh. Wise, brother, very wise. That is, if they permit it. So will you help me destroy the creatures that dwell here? He won't. Nifre only laughs. Better two ants make war on the seasons, brother. Alright. Wow, there's a lot going on here. Okay, well, let's just think about this in order. So, there was a man named Ronos Kasul that hunted you down. Nifre smirks. A meddler and peddler of cheap hope, false friend, and would-be mender of men who broke his back bearing a pack of lies. And so, he died, easing no lives, avenging no deaths, helpless, whelpless, gasping and grasping the horrors he sought to choke. The knots that bind me to the gate can't be sliced by a nano's knife. They're serpents with a sharper bite. Hack and they strike back. Alas, alack, as, at the last, learned the learned priest, who steeply paid for the teaching. After a moment, the smile, never quite real, slips from his face. He was not a bad man, little brother, just a blind one, blinded by grief and by staring too long at what should go unseen. He would have done better to watch where he stepped, but the Aeon Priests were right to raise a marker in his memory. You sense he'll get nothing more lucid out of Nifre on the subject. That counts as lucid? I feel like I would really rather lead this a couple times, so that I could actually say it as the poetry it clearly is. So he wrote that you're a prisoner or a slave. Nifre shrugs. We are born into a coffin of flesh, little brother, and even our minds are caged by pain and the fear of pain and the memory of pain. Life is our prison. We call its pressing walls and low roof our home, and we guard it with all our captive strength against any liberator fool enough to jangle the keys to our cell. He shrugs again. I am no better. My wardens bend their knee and call me master. But Kaisul was right. I am a slave, and so was Kaisul, and so are you, even father. I don't know, man. He seems to be bouncing from coffin to coffin pretty happily. It seems as if Nifre is about to say more, then he reconsiders and chews on his lip. The words come at last, low and slow. The children saw in my agony a path to freedom. The grave worshippers have a road of their own. He shakes his head. But our father seeks fetters, the better to bind him, an armor of chains against the world's banes, an adamantine oblet, safe from the haunts that hound him. Oof. Okay. Why are your followers so bloodthirsty? Oh, the children long to guzzle many bitter brews, brother, he answers, but blood is not among them. They put the stuff to other use, of course, use, juice, spicing up the dismal tombs, and who can blame them for bringing color to such a somber land? Nifre laughs, but it's a false laugh, and his eyes are filled with disgust. He sees what you've seen that's inside him and scoffs, and scowls. His voice drops to a whisper. They're preaching, brother, he hisses, spreading the gate's good graces to the heathen flesh-eaters and milquetoast memorialists. He shrugs. Apotheosis by agony. They have my own transcendence, he spits, and seek it for themselves and others. He lowers his voice again. It's the gate. It drives them mad as much to a bellow beat. Bellow heart? Ugh. They hear the music of this place, and it cries for a saber dance. He shrugs and raises his voice. No door opens without a toll. So who was Marciza? Nifre shakes his head. Names, shames, blames, what of them? His eyes grow unfocused, and words pour from his mouth. On Dranali the red blossoms bloom, and in poet's mouth they're named flesh flowers. But have they seen flesh? I have. Silver-skinned sheaths, and yellow adipose clumps, and white gristle. How unseemly seems man unseamed self. How unmet to these poetasters versifying. How poorer tasting these versifiers meet. Marciza, he says. It comes as a sigh. Speak plainly. Who was she? Ever faithful servant, steward of the shrine, preacher of our creed, he smirks. First among my apostles, foremost among the devout. He shrugs. A woman, a mortal. Blood to bleed, skin to flay, a hoarse voice to howl a holy terror unto the children. A fool, a hook in my flesh, a fraud, a corpse to molder. His voice softens. Time is laid her low. Time will level her further still. She was one thing, and now she's another. And so, even for us, little brother. What happened to her? Wilted, gone. We press mortals between folio leaves, brother, our father's folly, and try to keep them, and the pages bear their scent until it fades. The dry flower crumbles to our touch, and all that lasts is written on the page, graven on the tomb. Marcisa. He strokes his cat too, the same as yours. Are we pressed, brother? Are we flowers, pages, hands that press, marks that last? He puts his empty hand before his mouth and puffs. She is memory in a handful of dust. I will show you fear in a handful of dust. You cared about her. Inifre laughs. Such romance, such sentiment. Were we star-crossed, dearest Marcisa, crossed by this star before me who fell from this heavens? Oh, what sweaty oaths we swore, heaving beneath the sheets. Sweet sweat, wet weeping, eh? Love, he pants the word. Love. Inifre shakes his head. You are naive and young. Father left the part that loves in the waste when he carved our flesh. We are dry and barren, and she was a harrow in my fallow heart. Wow. This is going to be a long answer, but so how did you come here? How did all this happen? You do not, brother, for all that you think you do. He rolls his neck slowly, cracking each vertebra. There will come a day when you'll wish to vomit up the pain that fills you into bursting, when you'll regret gorging so long at the feast of others' suffering. He smiles, genuinely it seems, although sadly. But you will not have me to blame on that day. I'm still going to ask, tell me about yourself. You are asking the wrong questions and seeking to peek behind the wrong door. Leave it closed. Okay, so how about Choi, the murdered girl? Inifre exhales slowly through flared nostrils and runs his tongue across his jagged teeth and ragged lips. You are a bold one, brother, to go to God in his domain. He closes his eyes and again breathes deeply. She was a heart that still beat, eyes before they lost their light, muscle and baby fat, and organs spilled on a filthy floor, a purple liver and pink intestines, sprawled in the dirt like a skiff-stuffed serpent. So much blood in such a small body. Inifre shakes off the memory with a shudder. That is what we are, brother. Skin-wrapped bits of flesh, bound to bone by sinew, sparked to life by a universe gone mad. He sighs. Snuffed out. But the cosmographers teach that even stars turn to ash. All existence grows cold as it gets wise to woe's creation worked. She went fast, we go slow. In the end, there's just the end and nothing past it. Do not mention her again, or I will flay skin, then bones, and then marrow. I'm going to come back and push him on that. Let's edge around that for just a moment here. So, what can you tell me about this endless gate? Inifre scowls. The children teach with blades now, brother. The time for words is past. Then something softens around his eyes. Oh, brother, our father sent pain to be our pedagogos, no matter what study of course we pursue. In time, you'll learn all that I could teach you about the gate. Enjoy, for now, the blissful ignorance that I never knew. Can you teach me anything about it? He looks down and sighs. Our father had me sup upon the learning of poets and priests, whores and hangmen, the high and the low. Do you think it sweet nectar, mead of delight, keys to myriad mind-ways? He laughs joylessly. Oh no, bitter, bitter, broken off and chewed to chum, rotting in the gut, skissed in the making. He stares at you. It opened just one door, brother, one gate. I paid for the words racing through my mind. I will spare you their purchase. So, was he sort of in this, like, ancient forgotten knowledge, learned to his sorrow, summoning the eaters in the dark? I don't know. Let's push him on Choi. Actually, if we talk about something else, can we come back this? Let's see if we can convince him to help us stop their violence. Oh, if must could do the word we ask of it, what a glorious world we'd have. Streets teeming with modest shawls and groveling needs, scolded about by aughts, and the forbidden exile beyond the high wall. What a world, what a world. But it is not our world. Here is what must be in our world. Pain and death, a bartering of the one against the other until that final day when stars grow cold and, at last, no screams echo in the void. Till then, he shrugs. In any case, I fear your folly is quite profound. One does not say to the caged Calvator, "Prithee, teach thy zookeepers better manners." The smile on his face is one of bared pain. Make no mistake, brother, they are my keepers, not my followers. My only power over them is to open or close the gate. Ooh. So, close the gate then. Your followers are destroying the valley. Inifre shakes his head. O newborn babe, who knew not when born, poor in horror, bereft of frights, bereaved of griefs when father fled your flesh. Few of time's grinding grains have fallen upon you. You stand straight, with fine features, unworn by years, unwarned by fears. Ruined teeth are bared in an unhappy grin. But I've lived longer, little brother, awash in wasting sand, and I wish to live longer still, in life still, distilled despite the essence of senescence. He shakes his head. By your fall, sorrow. By your fall, brother, you've stirred a sorrow worse than woe, a foe that roves and reaves with no reason, no season, no ceasing. But here that horror fears to roam. You think me a coward? A snake-bitten man steps around a coiled rope? He encompasses the hell around you in a broad gesture. Better to die, you think? Oh no, little brother. Life is a card sharp. It puts you too in debt to quit the game, too poor to wager against its bluff. Inifre shrugs. You would talk of closing, brother, but instead, let's broach another gate, part of the horn-wrought portal that haunts our sleep. His eyes widen and his voice drops to a whisper. I dream, little brother. I dream and I doubt. Listen and tell me what you hear, what I have seen. All right, tell me your dream. Inifre closes his eyes, and his voice seems to settle into something like a reverie. The child screams in my dream, in his arms, bent on harm, in his hands, strong fingers clutching the brat, hoisting it up to his lips, bloody, flesh-flecked teeth. The brute bolts the brat's flank in one great gulp, the child shrieking still, shrill. The man's wild eyes stare straight through me, a grisly grin, a knowing wink. He opens his own eyes. So? Wow. Okay. Let's think about this. So these are my options. At least it's multiple choice. Is an actual child, hence the wink. Maybe. And the cultist who killed her is eating her. You were the child and its father eating you because he thinks you're hopeless to stop him. He's one of the children and the killer is one of the cult's enemies. No. Memorialist and the killer's the children. No. Okay, so I think it's one of these three. I do not subscribe to his whole crazy, the archetypal changing god is some kind of demon. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that out. I am going to go with one. The screaming child is, well, we can't say Choi, an actual child, and you are the one eating her, hence the wink. Inifre's face gives no indication of how he's taken your interpretation. He merely closes his eyes again and then continues. Fire rises, stinks of skin and hair aflame, greasy ropes of smoke groping upwards, skyward. Sits snowing upon the plain grey, the hush of ash shushing the howls. Peace. And this? Okay. Fire rises. Okay. The burning gate destroys guilty. I don't know about that. Destruction can bring an end to suffering. That seems fitting. All wrongs are annihilated and the other will end. Kill the innocent will burn. I am going to interpret this as destruction can bring an end to suffering. Red tide, huh? Inifre nods, without comment or commitment, and shuts his eyes. The flames abate. The smoke clouds gape and rain runs... The smoke clouds gape and rain runs in gray veins from the sky across the land, fast-falling drops and slow-flowing rills. The dirt churns to muck, and from the earth bursts a blossom, carrion white, a stalk like chalk thrusting at the parted heavens, huge and flush and fleshy. It lives but reeks of death. He opens his eyes, and then I awake. Okay. Good can spring to past wrong. That's Good. It reeks of death. No, no, no. Mention flesh flowers and saving memories. Maybe her memories sicken you. Maybe. An arum flower. Its stench draws flesh flies, trapping them. Huh. I don't know if that's the right name for it, but that's, you know, a thing. Cannot be stopped with violence. I'll interpret this as the classic, everything's about your mother. I'm going with this. Its stench draws flies, trapping them to fill them with pollen. It deceives and uses them, just as the gate does the children. Again, Inifre hardly seems to register your answer. He simply blinks several times and shakes his head, as if clearing his thoughts. Why would I close the gate? Convince me, is that what my dream truly means? We could persuade him. It means that your mind is deeply troubled, probably by the gate. Close it and seek help. I don't think there's a lesson in it. I'm leaning towards 2 here. Or threaten him. I actually did get some points in Intimidate. Oh, neat. Keep forgetting I can use these. This is tough. It's not like I'm going to get a second chance at this. Okay, honestly, I don't think there's anything to it. I think... Well... Is that what my dream truly means? Honestly... I would buy that. You know, eating the child, and then, you know, end in destruction, and then this horrible plant, you know, attracting those susceptible to it. Okay, I'm gonna go with persuasion. Strangely enough. Obviously, I'm not gonna roll in persuasion. Oh, maybe we're not gonna roll in persuasion. Wow, that's terrible. I don't want to blow the whole stat pool. 75% is the best he can get? 30. 70, that's the best, huh? Alright, rolling the dice. Ooh. Yes, your brother hisses. Yes. You've rightly read the wrongs written in my head. I see it. Your words have the rich savor of truth, little brother. He closes his eyes and sighs, rubbing his long, gnarled fingers. At last, Inifre opens his eyes. But, no, he says. The gate will not close. You've whispered my own thoughts in my ear, but they say to stay the course that has borne me thus far. So, let us speak of other things. I'm going to push him on Choi. Choi was not some carcass or a fading star. She was a girl. Inifre closes his eyes, and when he opens them, they are clear of madness and bright with hate. You were warned, little brother. You chose. Yep. Alright.
I think I need to lie down.
Well, that wasn't good. Did he just hit all of us? Okay. Okay, this is less than optimal. 150. Alright. This is totally a sucker punch moment here. Don't miss this. Okay, 95, because that one. Yeah, 95, and that saves some points.
Heroic strike of
nice.
Heroic proportions.
Well done. Let's see here. Can we heal? Where's my heal? This guy. Yes. Let's use this on ourselves.
I could stand a little more of that.
Excellent. Kiyatawa's. What's she doing?
What happened?
I need help.
This isn't good. Yeah, distracted. Okay. Okay, this is certainly suboptimal. Let's see here. Crap. 2 people are down. This sucks. I really want to get some damage in, but I need you guys back. Get up. Oh, I can't do that? So once they're dead, I can't raise them, huh? Oh, yeah, I can.
Dead. Oh, my head.
Not as dead as you
I
were.
guess I'm still pretty close.
Okay, spray flush. Can I use that on Tiber? Nope, I hit it wrong. That's less than awesome. I would really rather that not happen.
Faltering. I'm hurt.
Ah, crap.
Why is Rin lying down? What happened?
Well, I'm not sure I could have won that one. Oh, great. Unbelievable. Oh my god. Had to mute that so I could swear really, really loudly. I think I scared the cat. Alright. It's a little tempting to like not post this and pretend this episode never happened. I'm really, really unhappy with what just happened here. Alright, well, I'm going to drop to the main menu. Fortunately, I save at the end of each episode, so we can continue from where we left off last time. So, well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.